Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. I have a puppy on my lap. I'll just see how it all goes because she's just decided she's not going to leave. So I'll probably end up getting up and just moving her off before I really start channeling, because today is going to be all about channeling. And I've already got a couple of messages here. It's a bit dark outside, so we've got all these lightings happening. So there's all shadows on my face from all the lights. But in any case, you want to say hello, Penny? She's really comfortable in my arms. I'll see if I can bring this down. Ta-da! Oops. Yeah. Anyways. So hi, everybody, and welcome. I will be channeling through my team. My team consists of Pleiadians, Arcturians. I can channel through to source energy, which has been a bit prevalent at the moment, and Gaia herself as well. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you. Love the love heart. Love all the loving. Okay, so this week, it's like one thing after another sometimes, I think. With these new energies coming through, they're really bringing our minds to the forefront, and what our minds are doing and playing the games that we play within our own heads. It's coming to the forefront so that we're constantly having it whirling around, so that we can feel what's necessary and what do we need to chuck out. And that's what I've been getting this week, so that we can really hone in on what our mind is doing to us, what our mind is creating for us. And I'm not really focused at the moment. I'm going to have to put it down. I love her so much, but I'll have to put it down. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye, and then I can channel, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'll just be back in a sec. Hey, in that now, and Sky. Okay, here we go. Right, now we can get into it. So yes, the other thing that they wanted to bring up is preparation for channeling and stuff like that as well. The reason why they want to bring that up is because we're all moving into higher frequencies. And why are we moving into higher frequencies? Because we're clearing our fears, our doubts, our limitations on who we think we are. And when we do that, we leave a space in our heads where our mind is not too active. The monkey mind starts to go, okay, I don't need to do that anymore, and quieten down. It leaves a space in our minds, and then we can literally fill that space with intuitive wisdom coming through from our soul, which is then a necessary thing for us to be listening in on that feeling, that vibration, that understanding that that is something relevant. And then when we take that, we realize, wow, we have so much more wisdom at our fingertips. We know things that we kind of had an indication of before, but our clouded monkey mind kept telling us, no, you're useless. No, you're not good enough. One of the things that happened even this morning, very small thing, but I went to wash my hands, and the first thing that come over my mind, and I know it has for many others who have been programmed with this program of, am I wasting water? And then I felt into that vibration. I'm like, wow, the program of, am I wasting? And it literally made me realize in that moment, I was feeling like I wasn't worthy, like I just wasn't worthy enough. And that wasting feeling that they gave us, that feeling of feeling guilt, whatever we do, even if it's just washing our hands, we live in that moment. And in that moment, when we're having that feeling of guilt or wastefulness, that we aren't good enough, that we are useless, and we're not present with the feeling of the water and the feeling of just being present and going, wow, I'm here. This is what an opportunity for me to be here. I am so privileged and grateful and thankful and all of that. That goes out the window. You're just sitting there in this guilt, feeling like you're a waste of life. And so with that feeling or that program, because you're in the moment of it, your mind starts to confirm that in the next step, in the next step, in the next step. And then all of a sudden you have people coming at to you saying you're a waste of space, because you're literally constantly feeling into that vibration of feeling like you're wasting and you're a waste of space. And this is the program that they pull over us. They want you to be aware of that program as well, because when we start to step into the moment of being grateful and gratitude, more comes to us that we can be grateful and have gratitude of. Yes, things happen outside of us, but things happen outside of us that are a definite reflection of how we feel about who we are. And the more abundant that we feel about ourselves and that we are here for purpose, to explore and have adventure and feel good about this life and feel good on earth, and earth loves us and she wants to supply and all of that sort of stuff, the more we have, more abundance coming towards us of all of that. It's created outside of us, not through logic of we only have a certain amount and that's it, no one's allowed anymore, to expansion. And the same goes for our mind and the way that we think. So this week there's been a lot of probably monkey chatter coming up for you, and you thought, well, you had got rid of all of that, or you had controlled it, but it will come back just to really push those things to the surface of, am I present? Am I truly present? Or am I still hooked in to some sort of program or story or guilt or feeling of not feeling worthy? Yeah. So that's going to help us for the next step, because we're no longer playing their program of fear, guilt, and feeling worthless, which will then create what are they saying, tsunami of opportunities coming our way. Also, they keep wanting me to come back to channeling and how channeling is done, where many of us through the logic, and I'm not disregarding anybody's process and how they cope with life and everything in the respect of preparation for things. You know, some people when they channel and stuff like that, they just go into, I do definitely take deep breaths and I go into a different sort of a part of my brain where knowing feeds through of feeling, but this is, they're wanting to bring it through. It's a natural thing. It's natural. It's just that we haven't used it because we kept blocking it with unworthy feelings. And so then the naturalness of tapping into the wisdom of all doesn't get heard, because who are we to know that? Who are we to know more? And so in the end, channeling, so to speak, telepathy, connection to your soul, connection to other souls, which is connection to your soul and their wisdom when they want to impart and share their wisdom with you, and connection to Gaia herself. All of that will be a natural thing, because it's not something that we need to do specific actions beforehand. In other words, you know, I don't know, you know how we set up this so-called spells and stuff and put pentagrams up and make sure that we're in the right position and we're doing exactly the right thing. They're bringing me to a story of my own when I was with this fella who was a lovely man, a good friend of mine, and he was really into crystals, and he used to do work in the forest. Now, we weren't allowed to go into the forest at nighttime because the laws stated that it's council property, blah, 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 blah. But he used to go into this forest, which was a 1,000-year-old forest up in the mountains, and he asked me if I wanted to go with him at nighttime. because he said he was doing work with crystals. And I'm like, yes, that'd be great. And then I stopped and I said to him something. I said, if something happens here, just go with it, because things tend to happen with me. Anyway, we walked through the gate. It wasn't like we had to unlock padlocks or anything like that. It was very easy to walk into the forest. And we were walking down a path, and we come to two massive trees. It was dark, and I remember saying to him, "Oh, this feels like, energy shift." Like, he goes, "Yeah, it's a portal." And I went, "Ah, portal." And because I've had many things happen to me, all of a sudden, when we moved through between those two huge trees, all of these fairy fireflies come towards us, just everywhere. There was just hundreds of them, and they were right in front of, they were right with us. And as we were walking along the path, they just kept following us. And I look back, and there's no fairy fireflies behind, nothing in the forest. They were all with us. And they were lighting the path all the way down the path. And I remember putting my finger out and one just hovering over it. I'm like, oh my God, this is like we're in fairyland. This is incredible. And I was in such a beautiful high vibe state through just playing with them, being childlike, enjoying the whole process, just being in wonder of it all. But we got to a certain point along the path where he usually did his work with the crystals. Now, instead of just allowing what was happening, which was incredible as it was, to happen, he just yells out, "Stop!" And I just went, whoa, my energy just went, whoa, down. I'm like, have I done something wrong? I turned around and he's like, "Stop, you've gone too far. We're doing the crystal thing here." And I'm like, can you not see what's happening around us right at this moment and the opportunity? But I didn't say anything because they'd all flown away as soon as all of that energy just shifted. So this is all about us learning how to go with what's happening as well. Go with the opportunities that are coming our way. Not let our logic get in the way of dictating how things have to be in process, how things have to happen. That was a fail-safe thing for you to get into a vibration, but these vibrations are going to be present for us in these higher dimensions and every aspect of our life, whether we're doing the dishes or whether we are, in the middle of a collective coming together to hum and chant and all of that. It's to do with how you are as a human being in the wholeness of yourself moving through your life, rather than a certain process that you have to wait till you're in that specific spot, in that specific room, doing that specific thing. And I'm not disregarding or saying to anyone out there that has a specific way of doing things to stop it, and but unless you feel you're ready. But at least I'm planting a seed, or they're planting a seed for you to realize that this is going to be present in the higher energies of humanity's consciousness as we move into these different dimensional spaces, so that we can become it rather than prepare for it. So that was a really interesting and good message that was coming through there. Hey Claire, hey Em, hey Dave, hey Freezy, Peach, hey Sarah. Good to see my team coming in, cheering me on. I'm just going to say cheering me on. Don't forget, next week I've pre-recorded the tarot reading, which is a really good one because it's an hour long, and I really enjoy doing that, just an hour long reading. So I'm going to look into doing those more. What I might do is still have the chat bar up, do hour-long readings, and then maybe give away a free reading, a free small reading for someone, something like that. So I'm going to change things up probably when I come off the cruise, just to be aware of that. And I will always do the channeling like this as well, because this is what I'm really truly about. And even when I'm doing tarot for fun. It's still channeling through anyway. It's channeling. It's just who I am. So I just want to feel into some more information. They're telling me to look at the message that I wrote down. So I'm going to go follow that advice. Okay, this is relevant as well. So this is the message that I wrote down yesterday, last night. Oh, not now. So it says, we are all fighting our own weakness. So what's weakness? When this came through, I'm like, oh my God, this is really good. So we're all fighting our own weakness. So then we've got to ask ourselves, what is weakness? Weakness, they said, is a lack of our whole self already in existence. Otherwise, the weakness wouldn't be perceived in the first place. Therefore, the weakness shows us what needs to be healed in order to feel whole. So all weakness is a ignition of, hey, you're not whole, and you already are whole, so you're not perceiving yourself as whole, and then you perceived yourself as having a weakness, and then you confirm to yourself that you are that weakness, and then you look for other people to confirm it back to you. But we are all whole to begin with. It is only our logical mind that is all the program pulled over our eyes that's constantly telling us that we are less than who we truly are. So that's what weakness is. Weakness doesn't even truly exist apart from the story that we're telling ourselves. That's really powerful stuff right there. Because when we start to really get that at the core, that we are already whole, and if we're feeling a weakness within us, it's just a lack, a misunderstanding that we are lacking something. But we can only feel that lack of something if the wholeness was already present in the beginning. It's like I think they're calling it oxymoron or something. I don't know what that word means. But anyway, sometimes they give me a word and I'm like, am I hearing that right? Because I don't know what the word means. I'll just say it anyway. I feel like I'm just gibbering there. Any case, if you guys know what that means, that's great. What else have we got that's coming through for this week and onwards? You're very welcome in the now. She said, really enjoy the messages. Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, Bobbie. Thank you for the beautiful, empowering messages. Oh, you're very welcome. Okay. This is all the reason why all of these are coming out too is because we are prepared. We are ready for them. We're ready for them to come, and so they are being told. I mean, the only reason why I know how to channel is because I have had much preparation in my life with many visitations, and I mean real visitations, and I've had many times of premonitions and so forth. Talk about premonitions. The next class that I'm doing, which is Monday the 20th, is going to be on premonition dreaming. So we're going to talk all about that, or channel through some information about that after I get back from my beautiful cruise, which I'm so excited about. We're leaving tomorrow. Anyway, back to the channeling. If anyone has a question, then that is fine. If you want to ask a question as well. Not personal question. Well, you know what? I'm leaving it open. We'll see what happens. Sometimes they're telling me you're trying to control things too much. Interesting. Okay, so we'll just leave everything open and then go with that, what I feel at the time. Because I don't see them. Also, I just want to let you guys know, I don't see them as any higher than me. I see them as equal as me. So when you start channeling or you start receiving messages from benevolence, that are wisdom, that is just incredible, your soul is already at equal alignment with them. And that's why you can receive. If you see them as more than or greater than, or put them on a pedestal or anything like that, then it won't work as well. they're saying it will still work, but it won't work as wow. So it's an understanding that we're all one, and that we are opening up doorways in our minds, like crack of doorways in our minds, of remembering what our soul's journey has been on, that's helping us through this ascension process. Because our soul's journey has been on so much more than what this life has to offer. And not saying that this life isn't absolutely incredible. It is. The opportunities here are absolutely amazing for us to ground so much more diversity. But when we connect to our soul and the memory of that, remembering the vibrational feelings of other off-planet or other interdimensional aspects of ourselves, we can ground that, we can bring it into and feel through that and move through our life with that feeling. That is a gift in itself, because when we're present in that feeling, we act as that. And then when we act as that, other people feel that as well off us. And then their vibration could start to lift and up to, because they are so excited about being in your vibration and meeting, having that good feeling when they're around you, that they end up wanting to lift their vibration too as well. So I've been very much a hermit and just in my little small family pod for the last 3 years. But I do feel an expansion going to be happening with me, and I might even start touring around the world in the end. But I wanted to be very, very stable within my own grounding of who I am before I did anything like that. But in the end, as you start to bring in these energies, you can be walking through your life holding the vibrational meat of where your soul has been in other frequencies, and the feeling that you have stays presently with you. And that in itself wakes up others, because they magnetize to that feeling of, man, it feels good. Every time I'm around them, I have a clearer mind. Every time I'm around them, I feel good. And so you become the next neuron path, the next neuron that everyone wants to connect to, because it's a power, because you are changing the way things feel. And we're all searching for, every human on this planet is searching for good feelings, to feel to feel like they are, what am I trying to say here? Sorry. So we're all searching for a feeling that makes us feel good. But we've been looking outside ourselves for that feeling. Okay. And it's not that isn't in reflection to what you were searching for, but it isn't fleeting. Anything that you grab outside yourself to give you a good feeling is fleeting. It's not stable, and you need that thing, which can be controlled by somebody else, to make you feel good. Even if it's just, going through Facebook on your iPhone, and you get sucked into it and you forget about the life that's around you and all that sort of stuff. It's still outside of you, and it can be controlled and it can be manipulated and you can be programmed. But when you start to remember the energies that are prevalent from your soul's memory of being in another planet, dimension, whatever aspect of yourself, when you start to ground it into who you are in your body and you're walking as that, then no one can take that away from you. It is you. It's remembering who you are and the wholeness of who you are. Okay. Personal thing disappeared and then reappeared. She said they appeared for obvious places that she couldn't have overlooked. Why is this happening? I love that. Objects that are all of a sudden there, and objects that are not there, right? Now, we are, some of us are working with other dimensional entities. So there's two things that I'm picking up on for that sky, and I think that they're both relevant. One thing is that she could be working with elementals, and the elementals are showing her, oh, I just had a massive shift in my vibration then. So I'm thinking, it's almost like they just, and it gives me a buzzy feeling, a very lightheaded feeling. Well, that's quite powerful. So she's been taught too of interdimensional shape shifting, where the things disappear and reappear in our life all the time. Things that we expect to be there are there. Things that we don't expect, that we forget completely about, 100% about, not even, most of those things disappear from our reality. We don't even notice them. But when you remember that you put it there, or that it was there before and then disappeared, it could be that, sorry, I'm getting all these conflicting messages here. It's like there's a whole heap of elementals talking in my head at once, and they need to just chill, because I can't hear everybody's voice all at the same time giving me their different point of view. It's like, I'm just going to do an overall thing here, because otherwise I'm going to get too confused with all of those little chitter chatters. It's feeling to me like there's a lesson being taught for her to have an understanding that there's many dimensional timelines being played out at once, and that but she's remembering, say, a couple of them, one where the object was present, one where the object wasn't present. And so when you have when you're shifting into two different timelines like that, it can be a bit confusing, because the logical brain's going, well, that cannot be possible. But it's aligning her, but still holding on to the memory of both aspects of it being present and not present. Also, they're telling me in some cases the elementals are playing games. There's some sort of game playing happening at the same time. Anyway, I could probably get into that too much, and then I'll end up having a whole reading on that. So there's, moving in and out of our dimension. You just got it underneath there, that I just saw that as well. Yeah, but for her, okay, they want her to ground herself, though. Bring herself into. Okay, she learned that lesson. Let it go. Bring herself and ground herself into the timeline that she wants, or the one that made her feel good. Like if the objects had disappeared and she was in a good mood at that time, then go that one. If the object has appeared and she felt good, then go that one. Because there is different vibrational feelings and meets with that. And because they wanted to ground in one that makes her feel good. And they're also reminding me of a story that the Cherokee elder that I worked with, Purusha, told me. She said that she, as a child, was taken away from everyone, and she was taught by only her elder, her grandmother. And she would walk into a forest, and then she would literally disappear. And she would go into other dimensional spaces. And her grandmother got angry with her. No, you were supposed to be here in this reality and this dimensional timeline to serve purpose. That's why you came here. So don't whip in and out. So they're bringing that up for a reason, for a lesson for her, to remind her that, yes, she has that ability, Yes, you can use it to go in and out of different dimensional spaces. Okay, I don't like that reality. I'm going to timeline shift me into and use my imagination and bring myself into the right reality that makes me feel good. And you use your imagination as the carving the path, and then you say to your logic, this is how it's going to happen, because I don't like the story that was over there. We literally can shift our reality with that. And that is, anyone can do this. This isn't just me. I've done it many times where I didn't like where I was going, and I just went, stop. No, that's not how it's going to end. That's not how it's going to happen. And then I shifted my reality by really focusing on what I really wanted to happen and going, I'm going to keep on telling myself this is what's going to happen. Even if it seemed like it was impossible, because your brain's telling you or your monkey mind's telling you a story that happened in the past that was something that could be solidified easily because it's already happened once before, to focus in on what you really, where you really want to go. But you have to also have faith in this, in the fact that, you know what, that's where I'm going, and I'm really determined, and I'm sorry, monkey mind, not doing that anymore. So actually, that's really cool what you've brought up, Sky, because it's relevant for what we were talking about at the beginning of this channeling as well. That's why they said to me, let go of the control, and you pick and choose what you want to answer. Don't forget to, if you want a reading with me, I have one-on-one readings, and you can book down below. But the next week, I think after this reading, I'll open today up to the day for today until for the next 6 hours or so. But after that, I'm not going to be reading. So just wait till the end of this if you want to book, because I think I've only got a couple of hours or an hour left of my reading, but I can do the whole day up till 3 o'clock today. So I'll change that. Because, I won't be available when I'm on the cruise. Okay. What else have we got coming up? Yeah, the elementals, though, they can get a little chitty-chatty when they come in. They've been pretty prevalent in this reading with the fireflies and everything. Obviously, they have a very strong connection to the fireflies. They're also telling me, tell them. Tell them this. Okay, I'll tell you guys this. Sorry, getting into my fairy energy. Animals are interesting too. Funny that you bring up, Sky, that things disappear, right? Animals actually are interdimensional. Many of them are interdimensional. Fireflies are definitely interdimensional. There's many animals and insects that are interdimensional. And what I mean by that is that they can move through the space that humanity can view them, see them, feel them, touch them, whatever. And then they can move into higher vibrations, but we don't see that because in our limited consciousness, when they disappear, we don't expect it to happen, so we don't see it happening. And so, but they are constantly going in and out, and they literally disappear from this reality, just like the elder had done. And I'm constantly doing it. I have viewed it myself personally. I was out camping at my favorite spot where I get a lot of messages, and they told me to watch the birds, and the birds were circling. There was a few birds circling, and then they were rising, and they were going up in a DNA pattern kind of thing, spiraling up, and then they got to a certain point, and I saw a bird disappear. And it wasn't like it got, of course it got a bit smaller, but it wasn't small enough to disappear. I saw the bird disappear. And then I literally got told animals will go into other dimensional spaces when they just exist in a lot more vaster reality than what human consciousness is held like we've held ourselves very much bondage to this physical world. For purpose, though, for purpose of learning about the physical world. And now we can share this information or impart this information with you so that you can, it reminds you that there's a lot more that we can actually do. And that's why even if you have someone who is really in the thick of the lower density and graspy nature, you can literally walk past them and they won't even see you. In their reality, they won't see you because your vibration is not at their meet and it's too high. Where you observe them, you can see them, but they don't see you. Because you're too high, but you can just see them as long as you don't fall into the, oh my God, fear game with them. Oh my God, they've seen me. They're going to see me. That's you falling into their vibrational meet. Then they come up and be a nuisance with you again. So you can walk through your life and all of these people that you don't like or you feel going to attack you in the past. If you are at a higher frequency of, I just feel love for everything. I feel love for even them. They're just caught in their own little web and their trap of their mind. And I can't help them at the moment, but I can. But I need to walk from A to B past them. Then they won't see you. They won't even notice you. And I've definitely done that before as well. So these are all these kind of new gifts that are coming our way, and this is how they're coming. They're bringing them up a lot more now for us to explore. There's so much more for us to explore in this higher frequency of love, and love for us being here and the world and all of that. Okay, so there's a lot going on in the chat today. Sharon, I was in my kitchen with my tabby cat. I left to walk upstairs. My bedroom door was closed. When I opened it, she was in my room. What an experience. I love that. See, and that's igniting you, Sharon, to realize there's something more going on here than just the physical world. It ignites you to have an understanding, like a really prevalent understanding that there's more going on here than just the physical world. I'm glad you could join us too, Joy. Okay. It's okay. Sometimes even I feel down sometimes. Sometimes I just go, okay, I'm feeling down at the moment. I need to move through something. There's something that's blocking me or blocking you to feel happy, but it's because you need to bring it to the surface so that you can work through it. And when you do it in a way that comes from your self-love, you work through it where it never comes back again. If you say to yourself, I'm a victim, I'm sad, then it will keep showing up in your life over and over. So this is a great opportunity for you, Joy, to just go, you know what, I'm going to see it from an observational point. Okay, why am I feeling sad? What's bringing me down? What's making me feel lacking or less than who I am when I am happy? And then I'm going to move that so that I can catch it faster next time. So, it's okay to feel emotions. It's okay to feel through everything. It's acceptance that allows us to shift the things faster that we don't like and move into and have prolonged longer times in the moments or the emotions and the feelings that we do like. So that might help a little bit as well. Well, the time has flown by, right? 39 minutes already. But then again, does time exist? Okay. Is there any other messages for the collective, for the Ascensions Ascension Messages for this week and beyond. I always go this week and beyond because it's like they're planting seeds for in the future as well. Soul retrieval is soul memory, soul remembering where our soul path is. Your imagination holds many clues to what your soul has done in the past lives, past interdimensional experiences and all sorts. Also, they're telling me that the soul also holds memory of things that happen when you are asleep, and you go into, sometimes the soul can go into having a chat or experience off planet, where in a place where it feels really good. And so it will have that memory of that. Memory through the soul, though, is felt. It's felt. It's not like logic, where it can be written in a written format, and it can be spoken in your mind, but it always comes with feeling. It always comes with feeling. And if there's a knowing, it's just an absolute knowing. And if you quieten your monkey mind enough, you are giving yourself soul space to bring in that information again. And then you remember the feeling of, it starts off with a wash of a great feeling that comes over you. And then you're like, don't try to hold on to it. Just let yourself move through it. And when it passes, go, wow, wow, that's cool. I want to experience that again, because it's a memory of a good feeling. And then the feeling then goes into, depending on who you are and how you process things, it can be visions within your mind. Like your imagination can start see things like, I see pillars, I see vastness, I see oceans, I see beautiful colors, and I always have this very peaceful feeling with me. The other thing that they want to bring up, which is really out there, but I'm going to bring it up because they brought it up now, so we're just going with the flow of this, right, is a memory that I had when I was a child of, I remember literally creating this reality. And this was brought up in a reading just that I had, but they brought it up again now, so we'll go with this. But I remember when I was very little, I could have this feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm going to create a reality. And I was like standing in a desert, like it was just a vast landscape. There was no fear whatsoever. It was just me being present with this vast landscape of, now I'm going to create this reality. It was really, really interesting. And I believe that we have all at one time or another gone in to create the reality that we're in, because we are all one at the core of ourselves. And I'm just tapping into that vibrational meet of oneness, creating this reality, which is what I am and what you are. But when I was there, the excitement of me creating it was so beautiful. It was so vastly exciting. So we created a reality also where we could learn valuable lessons about ourselves and how we can create a world that separated us from each other. And we ended up, sometimes we ended up having the tension in our lives to feel so tense that when we got ourselves out of it, we went, wow, okay, I can go even deeper now. I can create even more, because I have an understanding of how to get out of the darkness or the hollowness within ourselves of feeling so separated and so gutted from love. When you can get yourself out of something, which is what this whole ascension is of humanity's consciousness, then you have a much more vastness of playground that you can play with, that source energy can play with through you, because you don't have the fear anymore, because you know how to get yourself out of it and not play the game that keeps you locked in. So many of us are experiencing moving through our life to get out of it, so that we can expand our ability to create. And that's what this is all about. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I feel very honored, and I feel very lucky to be able to have that feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. It's very it's like an innocent childlike feeling, and just this vastness of, wow, what am I going to create? That's so cool. Anyway, there's so much to delve into at the moment. My team is excited because because I'm igniting this within me. Then others are. There's so many of us that are igniting this kind of understanding and wisdom, you are me and I am you, so there's no difference within the fact that you're source energy going on a journey. And so that means that you and yourself, when you walk away from me, or go live your life, can also have in the back of your memory, well, I can remember that. I should be able to remember that too. I should be able to remember that I'm creating my own reality. I have that within me. No, not should. As I'm saying the word should, I'm thinking this is the wrong word. I have that within me. I have that within me. And that's when we can start shifting our reality into what we really, really want, and stop playing the game, the foolish game. They almost call it the foolish game of self-deprivation, guilt, and fear. And that's only present because we as source energy wanted to go down that far. So we had to almost create the perpetrators that kept us locked into that scenario. You can't keep locked. We are love, and it's just so easy to ping back into that when you get this. It doesn't feel easy at the moment because our monkey mind is still in fear, and the fear game of, well, what about me? How am I going to fit into this reality of allowing the soul and all its magnificence to come through and have its say? But the monkey mind is also, we need to honor and respect that part of ourselves, but we need to say to it, pull the reins in and go, you don't have the ability to create or carve a new path. You only have the ability to ground us in this reality of a separated story, to be able to move through it and have this beautiful life. So if we didn't have our logical mind grounding everything, then we couldn't experience this life. And this life is awesome. So it can be. And especially when you start to shift yourself out of allowing it to try to create the next path and allowing your intuition to carve the next path, then it will be. Yeah. We have been on our miscreations. I like that. That's interesting, Claire. How cool is that? Okay. Yes. So if there's something in your life that isn't going so well at the moment, see it as a lack of the wholeness of who you are rather than a weakness, which kind of weakness makes it seem like it's solidified, it's there, and it's where it's only prevalent because the wholeness exists in you as well. It can't be prevalent unless there is a wholeness within you. So yeah, anyway, if you are having a reality that's, you've got something in it that you don't like, say to yourself, stop, I'm not doing that anymore. enough. I'm moving towards, and then use your imagination. See, we've not been taught how to use our imagination. School systems shut it down. Even our parents did, because of their own fear of where that would take you. Oh my God, where's your imagination going to take you? You're going to look like a crazy person. Crazy is reliving the same story over and over again when you don't like it. So our imagination is very important, but we still have with this kind of a process where we're sort of training ourselves to use it again for the benefit of ourselves, rather than watching a story outside of ourselves, or social media, television, that sort of thing outside of ourselves, who's telling us what the next story is going to be. If we just go, nah, sorry, I don't need that story in my life. I'm going to be focusing on creating and grounding something way better than that. That's your story, and you're pulling it on me. You're putting it on me, and you're saying that I need to feel into it and feel guilty about it. Half the time, we're nowhere near the story, and yet we still have these. We end up focusing all our guilt in on it. Let it go. Just let it go and see where you can go. See where you can, what you can create in your life. You tried it that way for many eons before. You tried it that way, life after life. You tried it that way for this life, or whatever, for the years just gone by in this life. So why not try something different? Why not try to just go, I'm going to let that go, and use your imagination to carve, what do I truly want? Where do I really want to go? Who do I really want to be? How do I want to be perceived? Who am I? How do I want to feel? What, that sort of thing. Focus in on you are as the instigator of your reality, creating the universe around you. Rather than someone outside of you who's coming from their own fear and their own lack of feeling like, oh my God, I can't control everybody out there anymore. They're all waking up. No, we've got to give them this, and chuck all these stories at us. And then that story didn't work, and it didn't take, hold enough for them to feel good about themselves. So they throw another story, and then another story, and another story. And it just keeps going on. And some of us are focusing in on it and creating and carving that story. As I'm not saying that things don't happen. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that one step into the darkness of ourselves is going to be confirmed by another step into the darkness, and another tragedy, and another tragedy, and another tragedy. And we just keep going into more and more tragedies, confirming them, because we are creators, instead of focusing in on, what do I really want to have ground in this world? What can I achieve? What's the best scenario that I can be? Show me, universe, what's the best scenario I can be? How can I create the best? Show me a path. Show me signs. I want to explore something that makes me feel happy. That's sort of totally different ways of creating here, where you're following somebody else's advice. You've given away your power to them and to that story, and it makes it bigger than Ben-Hur, and it creates more of that story. And the other one, where you're trying to find coincidences in the life that you really desire. You can find coincidences easy in the life that you don't desire, just as much as you can find coincidences in the life that you do desire. Yeah. Okay, guys, I will leave it here. Love you heaps. So I am going away tomorrow and on a beautiful cruise. I'm really excited about that. But don't forget, when I come back, there's a class on the 20th of March. If you want to be part of that, it's $20 only. We're going into premonition dreamings for that one, which I'm really excited about, because I've had a lot of premonition dreams. And also, if you want a one-on-one reading, that I will open that up for just today. It's going to be closed, obviously, while I'm going on cruise. And what else is there? Look out for my latest video, which is all on fairy tales and the hidden messages on fairy tales. You'll have to go onto my YouTube channel for that and click on the fairy tale messages. it's really cool. But anyway, love you. Thank you for being part of this, everybody in the chat bar. You're so cool. Yes, I'm going to video a few things on the ship, just probably video all the food. Look at all the food that's in front of me. Anyway, and us having a good time. Maybe my partner might be in the videos. My daughter's like, I don't want to be in the videos. They're teenagers. Anyway, that's fine. So love you guys heaps. Bye.